It's Monday, August 18th. In the headlines, today, August 18th, is Nomination Day. In business news, we learn about the spiritual side of money and how to grow your wealth. Regionally, Guyana set to become mass manufacturing and industrial hub. And in sports, Kishane Thompson and Sharika Jackson shine at Diamond League. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Today, August 18, is Nomination Day in Jamaica. It is the designated day for the official naming or selection of candidates to contest the elections in each electoral division. The general election is set to be held in 2 weeks on September 3. Danita Rodney has some valuable information about the legal procedures of Nomination Day, as stipulated by law and monitored by the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
The law requires that Nomination Day be a minimum of 16 days and a maximum of 23 days before Election Day, and at least 5 clear days after the announcement of an election. The nomination process, as set out in paragraph 12 of the Local Governance Act, Schedule 8 of the Representation of People Act, is as follows. On Nomination Day, any person wishing to register as a candidate is required to complete nomination form, which should be signed by any 6 or more electors qualified to vote in a constituency for which an election is to be held. Return the form to the returning officer at the place specified in the election notice as designated venue on the day appointed as Nomination Day, and pay the nomination fee of $3,000 to the returning officer. Deposits must be made in banknotes. No debit or credit cards or checks will be accepted. So that's a look at the legal steps and requirements for Nomination Day here in Jamaica. For the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
Our news team was able to capture a few images of candidates being nominated.
Opposition leader and candidate for South St. Andrew, Mark Golding, was relatively early for his nomination. He seemed to be in good spirits as he submitted his paperwork and paid the nomination fee. Mr. Golding addressed supporters after the formalities.
I love you. I thank you so much for your support and your love. I know you are the wind beneath my wings. Without you, I am nothing at all in this politics. And you are the ones that have taken me to where I am today. South St. Andrew to the world. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people, I say.
In 2017, Mr. Golding was elected to Parliament as representative for South St. Andrew. After the PMP's loss in the 2020 Jamaican general election, Mr. Golding announced his intention to run for leadership of the party. He won the presidency of the PMP in 2020. This upcoming general election on September 3rd will be his first as party president. Reporting for the news, I am Chanel Matthews.
West Central St. Andrew candidate Dr. Andrew Holness has been the constituency's parliamentary representative since 1997. Dr. Holness became Jamaica's 9th Prime Minister after the Jamaica Labour Party defeated the People's National Party at the polls on February 25, 2016, and again in 2020. Today, he was nominated once again to represent the people of West Central St. Andrew. And we're here to just give you a little preview, a little snippet of what's been going on today.
When I came here in 1997, this seat was won by the PNP with a margin of 4,000 votes. I couldn't come up the street to here in peace. I have built a bond with the people here. They consider me part of their family, and I consider myself part of their family, and I consider them to be my family. That's the level of relationship that we have, whether it's JLP or PNP.
The People's National Party is defending its recently launched manifesto following criticisms from members of the Jamaica Labour Party. Opposition leader Mark Golding says the document represents the work of his team and outlines policies the party would pursue if elected. He was speaking at the party's political rally held in Crossroads on Saturday.
And comrades, the next government of the People's National Party is going to look to transform the lives of our people. Our manifesto has been published. They call a meeting even though they don't publish any manifesto to try and disrespect our manifesto.
Mr. Golding insisted that the manifesto was developed through extensive retreats and policy discussions with his shadow cabinet and spokespersons.
We had a series of retreats of the shadow cabinet, and all of our spokespersons had to present what they would like to see as the policies of the party in government. And we looked at all of what they brought forth, and those that made sense and were achievable, we have included them in our manifesto. The speeches that I have made and that Julian Robinson have made in the budget debates, those ideas have been distilled and put in our manifesto. And I personally edited the manifesto a week ago to make sure that everything in it was something I felt comfortable with.
The opposition leader says the policies reflect real solutions for Jamaicans, including plans for education and housing.
And that is why, in the words of that great song, My Leader Barnia, where the man say, we're going to juke them with free education, and we're going to juke them with a micro dam. Well, in 2025, we're going to juke them with the first in family scholarship. So any child who is the first in their family to qualify for school or university under the People's National Party government, they will get a full scholarship so they can help their brothers and sisters step out of poverty, and we can end intergenerational poverty in this country. We're doing it because the people of Jamaica need a better life.
He also announced that a PNP government would build 50,000 affordable houses on public lands while reforming the National Housing Trust to return it to its original mission.
That is why we're going to build 50,000 affordable houses in our first term. We're going to have them all across Jamaica, and we're going to build them at public lands not suitable for agriculture, and we're not going to include the value of the land in the price of the house, because we want the people of Jamaica who need affordable houses to be able to access it, and they're going to get real value for money because the land will be theirs and they don't have to pay a price for that.
The opposition maintains the manifesto is not artificial, but a plan to deliver a better life for Jamaicans. The Jamaica Public Service Company is warning motorists after an increase of vehicle crashes that have caused hundreds of power outages across the island this year. According to JPS, there have been 799 outages linked to collisions, about 4 per day, with St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew and St. Elizabeth as well, reporting the highest numbers. One crash in St. Catherine in May left more than 2,100 customers without power, while incidents in Westmoreland and Portland have disrupted electricity for thousands more. The company says even a single accident can knock down utility poles and street lights, leaving entire communities in the dark. JPS is urging drivers to remain cautious, especially during the holiday season, reminding the public that road safety and power reliability go hand in hand. The company says preventing accidents is a shared responsibility and calls on all motorists to stay alert to help keep electricity flowing safely across the island. Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. We continue in our series with international Forex educator Gordon Clark II who has taught financial principles in 129 countries. Mr. Clark shares his views on the spiritual side of money and how to grow your wealth.
So when we look at emotional stability, that may be because we have this money is evil, money don't grow on trees, I don't deserve money. So as we wrap up, give me like 3 or 4, sources of inspiration to show that I do deserve God's blessing.
Yes, ma'am. Well, number one, He created all this for you. So I'm going to say this. Number one, a scripture that I always go to, that I live by, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 through 3 says, write down the vision, make it plain, for he that seeth it may run. It's for an appointed time, it will come to pass, it will not lie. So he's telling you that the moment that you speak it or write it down, it has to happen. Okay. Well, if you go to the dictionary and just type in define future, just go to Google. If you're watching this right now, go to Google and put in define future. And it'll tell you the definition is the moment following speaking or writing. So that means that what you speak or write, by definition, it becomes your future. So that alone right there tells a lot. And the reason that that works is because in Genesis, you were giving dominion. This is when God said He gave you dominion. Dominion means authority. All right. But then here's the other thing, confidence. The word confidence has the word confide in it, right? So when you confide in somebody, that's something that you trust, right? But why don't we have confidence in ourselves? And the reason being is because we are the only people that know every single lie that we told everybody else and others. And so we're not confident, hey, I'm going to show up to train. I'm going to study. I'm going to give my all. And you know that yourself is lying. And so now that we know that we don't have confidence in ourselves in this area, then we want to push it off on somebody else. But the problem is we still didn't work on ourselves enough to hold ourselves accountable. And so no matter who's mentoring us, if we don't take care of ourselves and really hold ourselves accountable, then we're pretty much offering up trash to be mentored.
Lord. Wow. So this is Gordon Clark II on the Business Report, and I'm Denise Williams. I'll see you in the next conversation.
For the trading period ending August 15, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Office Supply Distributor Stationery and Office Supplies Limited with 2,782,628 units traded, representing 24.05% of market sales volume. Toll Road Operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited, Jamaican dollar shares with 2,048,027 units traded, representing 17.7% of market sales volume. And Toll Road Operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited US dollar shares with 986,475 units traded, representing 8.53% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On August 15, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US 47.53 million purchased and US 46.78 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.17 per dollar, selling the US at $161.38 and buying the US at $159.21. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $6.42 per transaction, with selling at $118.72 and buying at $112.30. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.58 in profit, with selling at $218.52 and buying at $216.94. For our credit report tip of the day, small businesses often struggle with one of the biggest hurdles to growth: funding eligibility. What happens when you walk into a bank hoping to bundle a credit card, auto loan, mortgage, and line of credit, but your credit score is under 600? Well, here's the good news. Even with less than perfect credit, you can approach a banker with confidence if you have the right strategy. Check your credit report, dispute errors, bring the bank statements to prove cash flow, and then highlight your savings habits. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, with the expansion in the construction sector and the growing demand, President Irfan Ali says Guyana is steering its economy towards becoming a mass manufacturing and industrial base, capable of meeting both domestic and international demand. In his address at the opening ceremony of Building Expo 2025 on Thursday night, the head of state urged foreign investors to think beyond retail and seize the opportunities in production.
VAT was removed from key construction material and zero taxes on cement. So on cement alone, we would have foregone $1.32 billion. The quantity of cement imported in Guyana during this period increased by almost 200%. And that is with 2 years of COVID, when the international transport system went dead. Yet, importation of cement grew by 200%. Paint, the quantity of paint imported grew by almost 300%. Steel, the quantity of imported steel grew by almost 2,600%. Imagine the scale of what we're talking about. But I call these figures not only to demonstrate to you the growth, but to tell you now another story. So what are we going to do? If this level of demand is there for cement, paint, and steel, then we have to work with the private sector to expand their capacity to produce these important input material right here in Guyana. And with the cost of energy coming down by 50%, that steel will be produced here. That paint, all of it will be produced here. That cement, all of it will be produced here. And that is where we are leading the economy into. A mass manufacturing and industrial base to satisfy this demand. And I'm not even adding the demand for roads. So for the international exhibitors who are here, this is not a retail market. If you're serious about doing business, get into partnership with the local private sector and bring your manufacturing plant, your industrial plant here in Guyana, because we will give you the incentive to bring it here. So the jobs will be created here, the income will be created here, the revenue will be created here. We want a great Guyana.
Grenada's Carnival 2025 has proven to be a major tourism success story, with hotels, guest houses, and even Airbnbs packed to capacity. The Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association says the record-breaking season not only boosted arrivals, but also delivered big benefits for local communities. Rena Thomas has more.
The Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association says accommodation properties across the island were filled to capacity for the 2025 Carnival season, including staycation houses and cottages. President of the association, Arlene Friday, says this year's high demand highlights the continued growth of Grenada's Carnival as a major tourism attraction.
It was full to capacity. When I say full, I mean every crook, every nook, every crevice was full. So our occupancy was quite high, including Airbnbs, small hotels, apartments, big, hotels as well. We were full to capacity. That will help us in terms of even increasing our GDP. So yes. So these are things that we're excited about, and this is why we try to tell the world how important it is to come to Grenada and in turn, how it gives back to Grenada.
She notes that the season will once again deliver significant economic benefits for locals, as most of the hotels and guest houses are locally owned.
Really does well. So, you're talking about not just the big hotels, but, what makes Grenada so different is that most of our hotels are indigenously owned. That means they're locally owned, so the money truly comes back to Grenada. and it trickles down and into the communities. So I think that's what makes it really special for Grenada as opposed to other islands when we talk about how it means to, invest in our properties, and having guests come to our shores and what it really means for Grenada.
Friday adds that excitement for Carnival 2026 is already building, with some visitors making earlier bookings even before the year's festivity ended.
People were booked some were booked since last year. People are booking sooner, much sooner than before. So many people will leave this year and will already book for next year. So we have a lot of repeat guests. And now we're finding new guests as well, right? So at the very last minute, I'm getting called on, can you help us find rooms? Is there a way that you can possibly assist in getting a room squeeze? There are people who are actually renovating and putting more room stock, giving us more room stock, which is what Grenada needs, to accommodate the amount of guests that are coming on island during these busy times of year.
Friday says the association will continue to work closely with stakeholders to ensure the island remains a top choice for cultural tourism in the region. Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
India marked its 79th independence anniversary on August 15, and the celebration reached Trinidad and Tobago as well, with the Indian flag hoisted high at the Mahatma Gandhi Institute in Mount Hope. The occasion highlighted India's journey from colonial rule to global economic power, while also strengthening its ties with Trinidad and Tobago. Sunil Lala tells us more.
On August 15th, Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi hoisted the saffron, white and green stripes, rippling the spirit of freedom, resilience and unity in recognition of his country's 79th anniversary of independence. Simultaneously in Trinidad and Tobago, the Indian national flag fluttered high above the Mahatma Gandhi Institute in Mount Hope, its vibrant tricolour catching the morning breeze. India gained independence from British rule on August 15, 1947. Reading an excerpt from India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech on the observance, Second Secretary of the Indian High Commission, Sri Sagar Maitra, highlighted India's transformation from a colonized nation to a global economic powerhouse.
The 15th of August is a date etched in our collective memory. During the long years of colonial rule, generations of Indians dreamt of the day of independence. Men and women, old and young, from all parts of the country, yearned to throw away the yoke of foreign rule. Their struggle was marked by the robust optimism, which has continued to propel our progress since independence too.
He also read parts of PM Modi's speech addressing the nation's economic strides.
India is well on the way to becoming a self-reliant nation and is moving ahead with great confidence. In the economic field, our achievements are all the more noticeable. With a GDP growth rate of 6.5% in the last fiscal, India is the fastest growing among the major economies in the world, even amid stress in the global economy.
In sports, we're out the blocks with athletics. Jamaican sprinters continued their strong form at the Wanda Diamond League in Poland on Sunday. Olympic silver medalist Kishane Thompson claimed the men's 100 meters in a meet record equaling 9.87 seconds, ahead of American Noel Lyles, saying he has learned from the last year's loss in Paris and is focused on executing his races. Reigning world champion Sharika Jackson also won the women's 200 meters in a season's best 22.17 seconds, while Olympic finalist Tia Clayton ran a personal best 10.82 seconds in the women's 100 meters, moving up the world athletics rankings. Jamaican hurdlers and field athletes also posted strong performances, with Daniel Williams running a personal best in the 100 meters hurdles, Rashawn Clark returning in the 400 meters hurdles, and Romain Beckford clearing 2.25 meters in the men's high jump. The performances highlight Jamaica's depth and early season form as the athletes prepare for the rest of the international circuit and upcoming major championships. In other athletics news, Jamaica mined 3 gold medals on the final day of competition at the NACAC Senior Championships in Freeport, Bahamas on the weekend. Nikisha Price and Shanika Ricketts were individual winners in their respective events. Price won the women's 400 meters, clocking 49.95 seconds. Ricketts was an easy winner in the women's triple jump, giving the country its second individual gold of the day. Ricketts won with a leap of 14.23 meters. The quartet of Bovell McPherson, Zanjian Barnes, Delano Kennedy and Rasheen McDonald secured gold in the men's 4.400 meters. Jamaica had to settle for silver in the men's 4x100 meters as the team of Ashani Smith, Kadrian Goldson, Raheem Ford, and Christopher Taylor clocked 38.53 seconds. Canada won gold in 38.05, breaking Jamaica's 2015 38.07 championships record. We now look to cricket. The Trinbago Knight Riders opened their 2025 Republic Bank CPL campaign with a statement win, beating the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots by 12 runs at Warner Park after piling up an imposing 231 for 5 and then closing out a fast finishing chase.
Colin Munro was the star as TKR started their campaign with a neat win over the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. The left-hander blazed 120 of 57 balls, the highest individual score for the Trinbago franchise in CPL history, surpassing Nicholas Pooran's 102 not out against Barbados at the Queen's Park Oval in 2023. Munro and Alec Hales, 47 of 27 balls, launched TKR with a 114-run opening stand in 19.1 overs, the second highest opening partnership for TKR behind Evan Lewis and Kevin O'Brien's 129 versus St. Lucia in 2014. After Hales fell, Nicholas Pooran, captaining TKR for the first time, chipped in with 13. Kyron Pollard added a brisk 19, and Casey Carty's neat 16 not out of 8 took the total to 231 for 5 for their 20 overs. Bowling for the Patriots, Jason Holder was the pick with 2 for 40. While Waka Salim Keel also took 2 for 47. Chasing 232, the Patriots did not back away from the challenge. Kyle Mayers, 32 off 22 balls, and Andrew Fetcher, 41 off 26, motored to 80 inside 7.3 overs before Mayers picked out Casey Carty. Riley Russo, 38 off 24, kept the rate alive, and when Jason Holder exploded for 44 off 22, the game stayed alive deep into the 20th over. Naseem Shah's late cameo of 17 from 5, and Dominic Drake's 20 not out of 12 trimmed the margin, but TKR's bowlers had done enough. Leg spinner Usman Tariq proved decisive with 4 for 33, removing Mayers, Mikhail Louis, Russo, and Jahid Ghuli for a duck. Akil Hussain, 1 for 25, bowled tidily up front. Sunil Narayan, 1 for 32, struck in the middle, and Mohammed Amir, 1 for 51, knocked over Holder at the death to stall the surge. The Patriots finished 12 runs short of the target on 219 for 7. Wayne Cunningham, TDT Sport.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.